Hello and welcome back to the Son of the Morning channel for another new comic review. What we're looking at right now is The Low, Low Woods, numbers 1 through 3. This is by Carmen Maria Machado. And I'll just say right off the bat that this series isn't for me. It wasn't made for me for a couple of different reasons. For starters, I'm not a horror person. I'm not really into horror comics at all. I've never been into horror movies. So, the odds that I was gonna get into something like this was probably not that high to begin with. So the story basically begins with these two young ladies, and they have fallen asleep in a movie theater during a movie, and they don't know what's happened. They come out, and the guy that is working has this sinister look on his face, asks if they enjoyed the movie. You can see something happened as one of them is vomiting. So they leave. They start to try to discuss what had been going on there, what happened, and they're not sure. So I found this all kind of a little bit confusing at first. They're trying to go home, they keep stopping and starting talking about what happened, not talking about what happened, and then this is where it kind of started to make a little bit of sense. Now they're talking about when they were, years ago, the town that they live in, which is called Shudder to Think, used to be a mining town. Then something happened. There was an explosion causing a fire underground that basically killed off the, I didn't kill people, changed people, killed a lot of people. The women started to vanish. It's the most interesting part up till this point here. So, one of our main characters is just arriving home. They've both arrived home safely. So, I wish I could remember their names right now. One is V, and the other one, it doesn't matter. At any rate, they're just talking here. This one about the different classmates. She makes a point that this one hasn't been the same since Kurt Cobain died, so at least we can place this in the mid-90s sometime around there. Mid to late 90s, depending on how long it took her to get over Kurt Cobain's death. And so this is V, and this is L. I'm glad I remembered that. Now, L is lamenting the fact that V has had a crush on this girl since grade 5 or something like that. They pass by each other here. They barely acknowledge each other. She's asking her why V cares about what that other girl thinks. She doesn't like her. But then we flip here at the end of the night, and she's knocking on her door, and apparently they are together, whether it's secretly or not. She wakes up and it looks like her finger is glowing or something like that. She stumbles out of bed, goes to the washroom, at which point she returns to find her girlfriend with a giant hole in her stomach. Now, at very least, this got me interested in the next issue, because I wanted to know what was going on here, because it's definitely very strange. I wanted to know what she did to her. So then we'll get into number 2, which I have to say has a very cool cover to it. Now, V flashes back to when she first moved to this town, how she was silly and went wandering in the woods near one of these crevices that the fire from the mines caused. And this Yeti type character pops out and tries to get her. I'm assuming these are the people who were lost in the mines. My question is if this is a thing, like, why aren't we calling in, like, the National Guard and the Army and stuff like that? At any rate, this is the story of how Elle and V meet. Elle stabs the thing, it runs away, and they are best friends from that point on. They decide they need to figure out what's going on, what happened to them. They go ask the very very suspicious looking fellow, who's also a classmate of theirs, what happened. He says they got up and left, suggested that they went to this party. So they decide that they're actually going to, you know, go home for the night, give in on that. I'm still looking for what has happened with the girl with the hole in her stomach. Is she dead? What's going on? Not sure exactly what's happening here. Elle brings a dog to visit this lady, and she starts talking about how when, you know, how there was an illegal mine that in her basement. Interesting stuff. More flashback here. Then, so I guess as a way to try to figure out what happened to them in the movie theater, Elle and V go to this party place that their classmate / movie theater worker suggests they should go. And I mean, she sees they're not talking to each other. It's kind of strange. But she's also alive. She's alive. They haven't told us what's going on yet, but she's alive. So, at any rate, wandering around, she wanders off. She's a science person. She sees these weird blue mushrooms. She wants to study them. She brings it back. At any rate, at the end of it, she ends up sort of getting into a fight with V, and Elle start getting into a fight with each other. And so, and she mentions that night that when she got home, her underwear were turned inside out. And so basically, yeah, they're just in a fight now. I'm confused. So what got me coming back for issue number 2 was not the fact that I didn't know what happened at the end of issue number 1. And they didn't tell me what happened in at the end. All I know is that the girl with the hole in her stomach is alive and well. And then we'll move to the third one here. And she's lamenting the fact that she has to walk because she's in a fight with her friend. So she goes to visit her mother's friend, who said there would always be waiting and always be willing to help her. It's this little witch. She's not actually a child, she just appears to be one. So she goes here because she's hoping that this witch will be able to help her find answers to what happened to them in the movie theater. And she's not asking a single thing about the hole in her girlfriend's stomach, how this person is alive. A witch might be a good person to ask about this. I don't know, I'm just saying. Then she, tells the witch about the mushroom. She's impressed by it and wants some to study and play with for herself. Okay, Elle gets bored, so she goes to the place where she originally met V and gets attacked by one of these things. She fights it off. And then, so finally, are we going to get some answers? Here we go. So, our friends are still not back together, but V has gone to her girlfriend's house, I guess, to talk to her. But they are not really hitting it off right at this point. At which point, she decides to take V to show her why She's like, oh, you've never met my mom, and this is why. It's because she's bedridden, and this is her mother. So, at this point in time, I'm very confused by what I'm seeing. Of course, as you can tell, there's part of a woman and some legs and a giant hole. So then, basically what happens here at the end is that V's girlfriend basically tells her that she is a sinkhole. Physically is a sinkhole. That her grandmother was a sinkhole before her, and that eventually she will grow up to be a sinkhole too. Eventually she just won't be able to pull that hole back into her body. So yeah, I'm out. If you like this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. This is the Son of the Morning. Like I said, I'm out.